Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You're having a beer with your friends, reminiscing about movies from 20 years ago. You remember some quotes, some moments, and share a few laughs as the memories of the past bring some joy to the present. Now, one of your friends opens his eyes as he remembers the news about the particular film you were just discussing. Hey, did you guys know that they're making a sequel of said movie? Well, the characters are coming back. Let's all buy tickets and go to the theater. And then the day comes. You sit down on a comfy chair. You sip down a bit of your soda to wash down the gourmet overpriced popcorn you just bought. And you wait until the lights glow. And finally, you get to see an absolute disaster of a movie that makes you rethink all of your life choices that brought you up to this point in life. But of course, The Devil Wears Prada 2 was never going to be that kind of movie. But I guess this needs scrapping the end of the barrel. And I want to get this out of my chest, so let's get on with it. Man, I wish I could summarize the actions that took place in this movie, but it's hard to track back because the editing is the equivalent of a 2-hour-long TikTok doom-scrolling frenzy. The movie never slows down. Everything is happening at such a fast pace that it's hard to follow whatever plot is in place. And when you decide to tell a story like that, it means that everything that happens has the same weight and level of importance, which means that nothing matters because the plot must go on. Don't take a moment to feel or create a human connection with what's happening in front of you. Just keep going. A good example of this is in the beginning of the movie. The movie starts with Anne Hathaway getting ready for something and then walking on the streets of New York. She's dashing, she's hip, she's cool. She is a journalist arriving to a journalist award ceremony. So the way they decided to show what happens next is unnecessarily convoluted. So I will tell you directly. She and her staff get fired by text message the moment she receives the award for being such an awesome journalist. So my question is, how did she become a journalist? Who are the members of her staff? Why are she and her colleagues such celebrated journalists who get fired at the height of their careers? We do not know, because the plot must go on. It felt to me as if they were trying to give the actors something to do through the whole movie while repeating gags from the first one, which of course don't have the same impact, because if you're unable to commit emotionally with whatever is happening in front of you, then it's all the same. It most certainly felt like every other Disney movie from the last 6 or whatnot years. And that is how the movie goes for like 2 hours. We learn about significant plot points because the characters are telling the story instead of living it. I mean, man, if the writers and directors won't care about the story, then why should we? And speaking of Disney, this is something that really struck a nerve with me. Interestingly enough, just before The Devil Wears Prada 2 came out, Meryl Streep argued that the prevalence of superhero films has led to a lack of nuanced character work, reducing stories to clear-cut heroes and villains. I'm sorry. But upon which hill are you declaring this, my dear Meryl? Because it just so happens that you said this while promoting The Devil Wears Prada 2 of all things. A movie in which none of the characters go through any emotional development whatsoever. Oh, I'm sorry, except yours, of course, whose clear motivation and goal it is only to become the head of global content for a conglomerate. Or to save the magazine from the hands of said conglomerate, or I don't know. I don't care. Nevertheless, I agree that the state of modern cinema looks like a parodical dystopia, but I take issue with you, Meryl, trying to lecture us all while being the poster grandma of this TikTok of a movie. And I'm not saying that she's not entitled to her own opinion. Of course she is, we all are, and kumbaya. But I find it hypocritical of her, because she read the script and knew exactly what she was getting into when signing for this movie. And you know what? Sometimes shutting up, it's a hell of an option.
What are you looking at? You've never seen a hypocrite before?
I want to say that maybe there are some things that might work or I was kind of pleasantly surprised about. For example, I couldn't identify heavy-handed ideology pandering in this movie, which made me think that maybe something is changing in the industry. But then I saw the casting for The Odyssey, so... Anyways, I can salvage 3 things about this movie, believe it or not. The first is that good actors do matter. For all the pedantry in Meryl Streep's comments, the woman can act and carry the film over her shoulders. And there are other things, like they even tried to joke about how her character will try to remember modern terminology like body positivity and just giving up and saying fat. I have to say, it made me laugh. I'm a simple man. The other thing is that there are themes that, developed properly, could have made this movie so much better. The fact that all work and no fun takes away a lot from your life, like not having a relationship with your children or being seen in a certain way, as the character of Meryl Streep's exposed at the end of the movie, I thought, okay, this is interesting. But what struck me the most was thinking that maybe they were taking a swing at their own company, at Disney. You see, one of the convoluted plot points of the movie is that a conglomerate owns not just Runway magazine, but many other publications, as is the case in real life, of course. So what Meryl Streep's character tries to overcome is the fact that conglomerates just buy stuff and then they care exclusively about the metrics, but not the actual things that have made them relevant to society in the first place. She even mentions it to one of these mean billionaires in regards to the changes in the magazine, saying that we need the designers and the writers to ultimately connect with other human beings, because you just can't buy everything and expect people to respond in the same way. My conclusion with The Devil Wears Prada 2 is that it was just another Disney Fox sequel from a 20-year-old fun summer flick without any of the traits that made the first one interesting. What bothered me as well is that this character is based on Anna Wintour, the absolute legend who has been running Vogue magazine since the 90s. She was the editor who saved that publication by putting famous people on the covers instead of models no one cared about or could relate to. By all accounts, she is a complex and very interesting woman, because despite having achieved so much, she recognizes in her documentary that her family favor her brother because he was a real journalist who became the diplomatic editor of The Guardian. And my comments on that are, Anna, have you seen what they publish in The Guardian? I think you're good. And that's all I have to say about that.